Let's continue the conversation on the Ascension process. So, Ascension series continued. I have no idea what number this is, but I want to talk to. I've had a lot of questions about soulmate twin flame, reincarnation. And so I'm going to tie it together in the universal law of oneness. There's 12 universal laws. I know that a lot of people have divided them into different things and taken one law and broken it into two or three. And so I work off of 12. These are the 12 that have been shown to me through all my downloads over the last 40 something years on this planet, right? So it's just what I function off of. Is it right? I don't know. Is it wrong? I don't know. Does it matter? I don't know. I just know how to navigate this. So I'm going to share what I know. So I want to talk about the reincarnation cycle first. Then we're sort of going to dip into the universal law of divine oneness, which is going to unfold what is soulmate, what is twin flame, are these real things? So, reincarnation cycle, this is how I want you to look at it, and this will tie into the universal law of oneness. Will we ever exactly know what's after this? Not while we're here in this. I don't think so, no. There's lots of us, many of us that get lots of downloads or connections or experiences. And my journey has been a wild one with a lot of visions and a lot of what would be labeled as psychic phenomenons. Being born with all my past life memories, being born in the womb, I am either a complete lunatic or I figured it out. I question both. And like I remember being, oh, I don't know, I was probably like 29, going to my doctor and being like, I think I'm fucking crazy. Can you do a psych evaluation? And his response was, well, this is how the conversation went. I was like, I'm crazy. Like, get me a psych evaluation. I'm losing my mind. I've lost my mind. Like, there's something wrong. And he's like, well, what's the problem? And I'm like, I hear voices. I get visions. I talk to aliens. Like, and he's like, okay, what are they telling you to do? And I'm like, or they're just showing me the keys to the universe on how to live in thriving energy and not in survival. He's like, and how is this a bad thing? I'm like, it's endless. It's endless. I see ghosts. I see all these things. Like I'm going crazy. Like I'm talking to aliens. And this is back in like, I don't know, 12 something years ago, 20, I don't know, a long time ago. And he kind of smiled at me. He's like, two things. You're not hurting anything. You're not hurting yourself. Second thing, crazy people don't stop to ask if they're crazy. So I think you're okay. And every time I see him still, I'm like, sure, like, can we do a brain scan? Like, what's going on? But anyways, so I just find that really entertaining. And I did have someone comment on one of my TikToks going, how do you know it's not your imagination? I don't know. Isn't it the mind that creates the perception that creates the reality? So what if it is my imagination? Either way, I know how to align fully with anything that I desire. And I can support someone in going from traumatized into liberated, free, co-creating with universal flow. So I don't know, the evidence is in the 20 something years of teaching it, I guess. So I'm going to share my experience of how I understood the universal law of oneness and what that means with the reincarnation cycle. So I've had a lot of psychic phenomenons. One of them was in one of my meditation practices, I was sitting in a chair staring at a glass sliding window with a forest. It was cold outside, so I didn't want to do it outside. So I was just observing and sitting there, just completely relaxed, out of body experience. There's a big field of grass, beautiful trees, birds, squirrels, all the things. And my mind would close and I would see like the sacred flower of life, which is the matrix of creation, and it moving and creating these bubbles and how everything was co-connected. And I was like, whoa, this is beautiful. And then my eyes would open and I'd see the forest again. And then in one breath, I was the forest. I became the tree and I could feel the earth and how connected I was into the earth and my roots and how my roots were connected to all the other roots. And in that, I could feel the insects that were thriving in my energy. I could feel each leaf growing and absorbing sun, and I could feel the rays and the heat of the sun, and I became the sun. And I literally became everything all at once for about an hour. And then when I came out of it, I ironically went to go eat an apple because I was like, oh, I haven't eaten in a while. Bit my apple. As soon as I bit the apple, it brought me right back into it. So it became the apple, the stem, the tree, the sun, the air, the roots, the soil, the grass, and I just became the totality of that experience. And it was beautiful. And in that, I got a lot of information about what I refer to and what my galactic energy and my ascended guides call the sea of consciousness. So that whole analogy is in the whole analogy and how you relate to people and what 5D, 6D, interacting with people, all of that stuff, how to really truly thrive with it all and what the purpose is in the program Fully Awaken and Ascend that's pre-recorded for you. So that's on the website, diamondno.com. But I'm going to give a little snippet of a couple of things here. So the way I see the reincarnation cycle is imagine a beautiful tree, like an oak tree. And there it is thriving, grounded, dropping seeds. And those seeds land, maybe the wind takes them a little bit further, and they go in and they start to go into that phase of breaking through, becoming a little plant, breaking through the surface, becoming a little sapling, becoming a great big tree that then generates seeds. And so each one of these seeds is constantly generating itself and planting itself. And the cycle goes over and over and over and over again. So if we had a bar where we could fast forward that over, let's say, 500 years even, the origination or the original tree would be the consciousness that materialized. But then that tree is creating an abundant amount of seeds each season that the wind will pick up and carry, or maybe a squirrel will carry it off and plant it, who knows? And so that is your experience. That's each one of us is this endless flow of generation. Or like generation might not be the right word, but this endless flow of reincarnation. There's so many parallel experiences because the seed was birthed from that tree. So therefore, each seed at one point was an entire piece of that tree. They were all one at once. And so you are birthed into multiple experiences in cycles over and over and over again. So as you are here watching this, there's another version of you doing something else and something else and something else. And so time doesn't go like this. It's all parallel. It's all a cycle of constant like movement. There is no death to the process because the one original tree crumbles and all of its other babies, seedlings, take off into trees. That doesn't mean that that tree is gone because it is part of that next reincarnation, the next level. So you've got all of these amazing experiences, and the wind or the squirrels or whatever can take you over wherever they decide to land. And let's say it goes, you know, I use kilometers because I'm in Canada. So let's say it goes 1,000 kilometers in the wind, I don't know, and plants, and that whole cycle starts all over again. And then it goes 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 kilometers and like each seed moving. You literally are residing in so many realities, and there is no beginning to you and there is no end to you. There is only what we perceive as an end to the one tree as it falls, not realizing that in fact it is one with all of those seeds, right? So does that resonate? Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you. That's how I see the reincarnation cycle. When it comes to the universal law of divine oneness, this is the hardest, most challenging law to embody. You can have all the wisdom in the world. You can have all the knowledge in the world. And I've referred to this before. It's like, I don't have balls. Okay. So I truly don't know. I don't have the knowledge of the truth of what it's like to get kicked in the balls. I have a vulva. Don't know. But I've been witness to, unfortunately, witness to what that looks like for other people. So through my witnessing of, I've got an understanding. So there's a huge difference between knowledge and knowing something. understanding the universal laws, understanding how to apply the quantum realm, what to do with the quantum realm, what to do with the power 369, to embody it, to become the knowing of it, is far more impactful. You're going to change your life. You're just going to become that way of living instead of understanding the universal laws and being like, yeah, I know, I totally get it. So the majority of the world, no, majority, will have statements like, we're all one love, we're all united, we are one together. But do they actually truly embody and know oneness, true unity? Not very many do at all, where they can live it. We can conceptualize it. We can go, yeah, no, I know this is an illusion. This is my ego. This is this. And I am the universe. We can get it, but when you embody it, it becomes a completely different experience. So the sea of consciousness, to put it like real fucking simple in comparison to what I share in that program, here's what I want you to imagine. So imagine a sea, a beautiful ocean of consciousness. If I were to take a cup, here's my coffee cup, there's still coffee in it. If I were to take a cup and scoop up that water and hold it to you and say, is this consciousness? Is this source? What would your answer be? So stand it on the edge, scoop it up. Is this source? Is this consciousness in the cup? So what's your answer? Here's what most of humanity believes. Most of humanity believes, yeah, absolutely it is. And when I die, I get poured back into the stream of consciousness. No, the actual truth is you're that cup submerged in the sea. You're never separate from it at all. So here's my quirky other analogy on this. You know, the little like netted bag of little foil Easter eggs you can get from the dollar store, Dollar Tree at Easter time. And you can hold it in this little mesh sack of, like a little sack of chocolate eggs, okay? Or gold coins. That is you in the sea of consciousness. Consciousness, universal flow, what a lot of you call the universe, universal flow is flowing through that mesh bag. It is in each one of those chocolate eggs at the center. Your beliefs, for shits and giggles, I'm making this really simple. Your beliefs are what's the foil, the chocolate around it. The netting is your physical meat suit with universal flow flowing in between each one. If that's submerged in water, there is consciousness, universal flow around each Easter egg and in each Easter egg. And the material, the meat part, the netting, the foil is your human density. But you are not separate. So if you look at that submersion, that is our true existence, or the glass being submerged in. The water is in and around and totally covering it. It is not separate from, and when it dies, it goes back to. It is this separation of I am a cup of consciousness floating above the sea. It is that separation that says me. It is that separation that says, oh, I'm depressed, or I'm angry, or I'm traumatized, or I have fibromyalgia, or I have cancer, or I have a broken leg, or I have. And we start to identify as a unique operating mechanism aside from everything to try to validate our existence. And when we're born knowing all of that. When we're in the womb, we understand. We're like, yeah, here we go. I am the seed falling off the tree. Here I go. I'm in the sea of consciousness. And we come through, and then we have to learn being human. Not because it's a punishment or a rite of passage. We come to learn and understand what humanity needs in order to fix its damn self. So we get fucked so that we can help unfuck, basically. We go through the lessons. We go through the pain points. We understand what's wrong with humanity. And during that process, oh my God, this is hard. This hurts. This is painful. And we take it and we take it and we take it. And then the awakening begins. Your awakening, what everybody else is calling spirituality, it's part of your evolution. Your awakening happens when you go, there's got to be more or a way to heal humanity. Unknowingly, this is what you're going through. And so you begin the journey of discovering the opposite of the pain you have endured. And if you get it, you go, oh, I know exactly what's required to prevent this type of pain for other people because I've been it. I have the knowing. I got kicked in the balls. I know what to do. So you begin the journey of mastering that. And that's part of your soul purpose in teaching that, whether you teach it to your partner, your children, yourself, or the world, it doesn't matter. That's up to you. That's your free will and how you do it. That's the journey. That's the point. So when we understand those components and we understand that we're submerged in the sea of consciousness, that you are a cup in the sea of consciousness floating around. The analogy is so beautiful in the program, and I don't want to take up too much time here because I can talk forever, but it's this beautiful, liberating freedom of nothing has to belong to me. I've experienced cancer twice. I have the experience of a very aggressive autoimmune disorder that could take my life at any minute. I have been notified by the doctors that my meat suit has 8 weeks left to live. I've talked about this in other videos. This is a while ago. I'm beyond that now. And those lessons or those challenges of how to move out of self-victimization, I didn't know that's what I was doing. I didn't know I was in self-victimization. I didn't know that I was still wounded, hurt from all of the sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse that I had to endure. And then when I figured it out, and I figured out that I was just submerged in the sea of consciousness, if I'm just a cup floating, can I not just swim backwards and let it out and then scoop up something different? And isn't that the point of just the experience? And my whole life changed just with that. And that came from that one meditation where I became the tree. It was just like this unfolding over a couple of days. So how does that relate to soulmates? How does that relate to twin flames? I hesitate to use the term twin flame. I think that there's a lot of spiritual information out there that is purposely designed. This is going to trigger a lot of you. I'm sorry. I love you. Okay. We know that we have, for example, a lot of information out there about in order to be a man, you've got to be handsome and tall and lean and muscular. In order to be a high-ranking woman, you've got to be lean and fit and long hair and blah, 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 right? So we've been programmed. I truly believe that a lot of the spiritual information that's out there from the same source is programming us to stay under this glass ceiling. Twin flame being part of that. I explain all of that in the program as well, but to make it, because I'm going on forever again, as always. So I don't really like using that term because there's a lot of information out there about how twin flame energy is supposed to be challenging, that it's supposed to mirror you and challenge you and make you grow. And if you are unhealed, it is a high probability that you will mistaken someone else unhealed or abusive or aggressive or unkind. And you will continue to do that because they challenge me. So it's got to be my twin flame. Like, I love them. I feel this. I know. And so we go through the bullshit that you don't have to go through, such as narcissism or abuse or neglect or all of those things. So I'm not a fan of that. And if twin flame is a real thing, here's something to think about. What if they don't wake up? What if they don't do their healing? You still going to be with someone who's going to be toxic just because they're your twin flame and you have to be, because it'll be the best love you've ever had? How can it be the best love you've ever had if they don't vibrationally match you? Isn't the best love you've ever had is being in the highest vibration and co-creating together, co-manifesting together the life that you desire to experience here and now? Wouldn't that be far better than trying to heal someone. It's not your job to heal someone. We're all in our own individual journey. So I don't really like leaning into twin flame energy just because of that. What I do lean into, what I do feel is soulmate energy is other seeds that have fallen off of the same tree where you just resonate. You're just like, oh my God, really, really enjoy you. I resonate with you. I feel you. We can finish each other's sentences. We can do these things. So I feel like it's, and probably very likely soulmate energy is someone that you have reincarnated with over and over and over again. One tree is not responsible for just your reincarnation. If you think about a tree dropping its seeds, and then all of those trees dropping their seeds, and then all of those trees dropping their seeds, this is limitless reincarnation. If we're all coming from the same source, if the original one was consciousness, the original tree, is there original tree? I don't know. Then all of those seeds would be different manifestations of the same consciousness, which is what we are. We're all different manifestations of the same consciousness. So I feel like you just resonate. You're like, oh, we came in the same cycle. I get it. Or we had a lot of cycles together. When it comes to love and twin flame energy, my preference is to look at how in the quantum world, when a atom, photon, whatever, I don't jump all over me with the wrong terminology. I'm not a physicist. I just know how to use this. I've studied it. Terminology is always going to be wrong. So the thing, the atom, the photon, the whatever, I think it's a photon. So the split theory that you can look up, go to YouTube, look up split theory, quantum physics. It splits when going into creation. So I truly believe that your highest level of love or your possibility in love, not that you have to wait for it, there is a possibility of someone being the closest version of you that mirrors you perfectly. And in mirroring you perfectly, they're going to reflect all of you. They're going to reflect your healed and your unhealed. They're going to reflect your yin to your yang, right? So I feel that I have found that for sure. Do I feel like we have to just choose that one person? Do we have to just wait for that one person? No, I think you have freedom to do whatever fits you. But I know I have that person. And I see a lot of my clients who have navigated their journey into finding that person as well. So if you exist, your perfect reflection exists. It's how the quantum world works. I should have just started with that. If you exist, they exist 100%. You don't have to wait. You can settle for something else and enjoy a great life. But if you exist, they exist. And when you come together, you will reflect the good, the bad, and the ugly, if we want to label them those things. You will both have pain points because you're human. You will both have trauma. You will both have reactionary things that go on. And the highest form of love is this, okay? I want you to ask yourself, what do I want them to experience through me? What do I want them to experience through me? My answer when I sat with that with my current partner was to be fully honored, to be heard, to be valued, and to be seen. So then how do I demonstrate that for my partner? That looks like me being vulnerable. It looks like, hey, I know it's fucked up about me. You want to see it? Here's all. I'm not going to throw it at you. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to let you learn me. And I want to learn you. And I want to fall in love with your fucked up as much as I fall in love with the things that are great. Because that is love. I'm not going to change your fucked up. I'm not going to mentor you, coach you, heal you, push you. Like none of that. I'm going to completely honor the good and the bad. I'm going to fall in love with your fucked up as much as I fall in love with you. All the things. And in that removes the expectation of growth and forward movement and instead allows the natural flow of growth and forward movement. You're still going to have your things that aren't great, that aren't perfect. We are human after all. So when it comes to twin flame energy, If you exist, so does your perfect reflection. But be ready for it. Because if you are going to allow your perfect reflection in, you are going to be looking at yourself a lot through their eyes, which means do the work. It means discover yourself. It means go down the rabbit hole of what am I really feeling? Understand vulnerability, take down your walls. It's a wild, wild journey that's so worth it. But like all things in life, it has its challenges. It has your opportunity to master certain things about yourself. So there's that. Did I cover everything? I don't even know. I'm in a whirlwind. It's been wild. The energy is high vibe. I will do a different video on that right now, what to expect with June, July, and August. But there's been a tremendous amount of love that I have received from the various platforms, TikTok and here, YouTube, all the platforms. And it really does, it is an honor for me to be of service and to just share what I know and allow you to join the journey of taking it for what it is for you. So thank you for being a part of my manifestation, a part of my journey, a part of my reality, and sending me these vulnerable, beautiful emails. Oh, it makes 44 years on this planet of being human, turning like 40, almost 45 years. It makes it worth it when love is shared. So I'm doing my best to get back to all the comments and all of the emails and all of the messages. It's a lot. And I don't have a lot of free time in between my schedule because I'm with clients so much, but I'm doing my best. I've got Cindy and Sherry, my admin team, supporting me with any like easy questions. But please still continue to comment. They're gathering the questions for me so that I can address them for you. And that's that. Okay. I love you. Thank you. It's an honor. Continue to be brave, bold, raw, and please never forget that you are needed on this planet. And it does get good. I promise. It gets really good. All right. Hang in there.